Is it gonna fuck you up if I don't use headphones?
No, it's cool. I usually have a whole setup, but I just was lazy today.
Nice. I like the way your shit looks, like with the records.
Oh, cool, man. Yeah, I mean,
The
usually
plant.
I'm kind of
Is
out
that
in
a
my
real
living
plant or
room
a
right
fake
now.
plant? Looks real.
Say again.
Real plant or fake plant?
This is a real one.
Nice. We're working with fake plants. Thank you, Nick. See?
That's funny.
Yeah, I like them. You don't need to water them.
Cool, man. Well, first off, thanks for doing this, and secondly, your channel is hilarious, dude.
Thank you. Nick, say hi.
Oh,
This is Nick.
hello.
He does the video editing.
What up,
Yeah.
Nick?
Yeah, I know.
You guys are killing it, man.
Thank
That
you.
stuff cracks me up.
Well, we try our best, you know. It's a good we put on a good effort.
I know
We take it pretty seriously.
I know some people probably hate it, but I love it.
Nobody hates it. Our channel we're basically in the mainstream. Uh, yeah, Beato loves us. Everybody loves us. No, actually, we actually made so many videos like talking shit about Beato, and I kept saying like that like if we ever get on like any recognition from him, I will go back and erase every single one of them and then pretend like it never happened.
Oh, I don't know if I've ever seen any of those videos. I have to go down the rabbit hole some more.
Oh, dude, there's one where it's like a video of when he had Kurt Rosenwinkel on,
Uh,
and Kurt Rosenwinkel is like giving him a compliment about his playing, and it looks like the most forced thing in the world. It's like, oh yeah, Rick, like you're a great guitar player too, like that thing you did with fifths, and then like the video is me like watching that in a loop, eating popcorn. Like
You
it's
the
like
man.
yeah, like and he keeps saying, "You the man, Rick. You the man. You the
oh my
man.
God.
You the man, Rick. You the man. You the
That's
man,
funny.
Rick. You the man." Uh,
Well, honestly, I just appreciate like I just appreciate like the non-trad way that you go about it is just great because like I feel like especially in the music world, like the schooling and stuff, it's just they get so serious sometimes. I'm like, guys, relax.
yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, I think a lot of you know influencer creators are not players. They're like glorified video editors that
Yeah.
like you know it's like and they spend most of their time video editing.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Very little time thinking about music. So they have like they carry this deep insecurity that they don't know anything, and it's correct. They actually don't. Like, and their playing sucks.
Right, right, right.
So it's just like you know when you have a large platform and you just can't play, it creates this very interesting personality. You know, it's
And
like
it
all
gets
the
where
time. It's
it
like
gets yeah, it gets more and more if you get more.
yeah, it's
Yeah, it's like
like their defense mechanism. It's just
right.
like it's like always like just churning. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Yeah,
Well,
actually,
I showed my my lady your the scat lady video.
oh yeah. Did you like
Because
it?
oh, she loved it, and she's a singer, and she was dying, dude. It was hilarious.
Oh, thank you. Did
So
you see the?
she made me tell you. She's like, tell him I love the scat lady video.
Oh, thank you. Did you see the one about the fusion? You can't bring down a fusion man. That's
Yeah, I
falling
did see
down
that.
there. Yeah, that was some of my finest work. I actually just completed a rant, you know, that I haven't filmed yet. I'm going to do it later today, but I'll just the over the weekend, I had to put down my dog. I
Oh,
had
dang.
15 years, Dachshund, amazing being, and I was crying like a little bitch at the vet office. I didn't think it would hit me, and it
Yeah.
was so fucking sad to like just you know like euthanize this
He was your
beautiful
best
thing.
friend.
Yeah, he was like so sick, and my wife intuitively put on a Spotify classical guitar station on, and I was just like, this is what this music is for. It's just like that's the only reason to have classical guitar music. It's just for like dignified death. Like it's like they're like it's like an orchestra, but it's like it's not an orchestra. It's like an orchestra's like depressed little cousin that just like turns everything into like depressing ass music. Like you can put like anything into it, and
Right.
on the other side, you just get like this depressing ass music for like dying peacefully. Anyway, so I mean, I don't know a lot about what you do, but judging from like the title of your page, I'm guessing that you don't believe in one minor.
So yeah, you know what's so funny is that like for me, like I'm a player first, and
Uh-huh.
like I just, I like doing some of the YouTube stuff and Instagram, whatever, just for some of my students and just, just for fun.
Yeah,
And it's kind of the modern era, obviously. I'm
sure.
preaching to the choir, but
So,
it's
I
funny
do it for
because,
money.
say again?
I do it for money.
Yeah, yeah, me too. I see what you're saying. Yeah, honestly, I would love to get to that point. I don't make any money, which is there's just one of the
You get
things.
students.
Yeah, yeah, but that's one of the things that the haters online will be like, well, you're just doing it for money. And I'm like, bro, I'm out here
It's like the
giving
best reason. That's why everybody's doing anything.
I know.
You're
They're out
just
of
doing it for
they're
sex and money.
they're out of their minds, dude. Like and so anyways, this whole no minor one thing has I never would have thought that it like would have become a thing somewhat because for me it's just this like perspective and this kind of like perspective shift that I had in my own playing from playing at this gospel church that I play at for years and playing with all those guys, and I went to school for jazz and blah 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 and whatever, but I'm predominantly like a jazz player. That's how I make my money. I play gigs and whatever and do all sorts of stuff
Sure.
and teach and whatever. But it's funny because when I was learning this stuff, you have your little plateaus and your little things that you're trying to figure out. And for me, one day I was, after playing at this church gig for years, playing with these guys who are great musicians and just are unbelievable, whole nother style, but it crosses over a lot to jazz
Sure.
in terms of just how you play and the improvising and all the stuff. And I just remember having this moment of clarity, realizing like, and in my head, I literally said, oh my God, there's no such thing as minor one.
Yeah.
Meaning like when I'm playing all these tunes, in a nutshell, it's mostly like, oh, okay, if we're playing in C and you go through all the cool stuff, whatever. And those guys in the church world, they talk in numbers. They know their major scales. They may not know that they're playing a minor 7 flat 5 or it's a dominant sharp 11 or whatever. They don't really think like that most of the time. I mean, granted, I'm sure there's some church guys that really know their harmony, and I'm not saying they don't. But what they do is they really hear that shit. And it's like they really play alter dominant when they need to. And like they may not know it's called E7 sharp 5 sharp 9, but
Yeah.
they sure as shit play it. And
Right.
it's played in the right spot and it sounds great. And
Right.
they always talk in terms of numbers like we do. But what they'll say is, oh, we're in C, it's 3 6 2 5, and then 7 3 6. That's what they say when they go to the 6th chord. So when they're playing in C major and then they want to go to A minor and stay there for a bit or whatever it is, that's how they talk. And that's kind of one of the first things I was like, oh, that's interesting. Like we don't really, we would usually say, oh, it's 2 5 to A minor, which is not incorrect. It's like that's the thing that people online lose their minds about. They're like, oh, you don't believe in minor. And it's like, no, not only do I believe in minor, I believe in many layers of minor that's so specific that it's, I just don't call it minor one. And that was just,
You
again,
just kind of like wait for like a moment in jazz where it's just like the like all the things you are like, oh, I know.
yeah. So, so it's like, and for me personally, like when I was learning this stuff and playing and a lot of times, like I learned most of the stuff really like from playing gigs, and just, like most people probably, but I remember always thinking like, okay, well, why is the 2 chord in a minor 2 5 half diminished? Like I get that it's half diminished, but it's like why though? Like what's the reason? And they never really tell you. They're just like, oh, it's it's half diminished, whatever. And then it's like, but everyone knows that the 7th chord in a diatonic sequence is half diminished.
Right.
And even though like I got in this whole conversation with some other guys about how like Monk didn't even really think of half diminished, and there's some videos of Barry Harris kind of saying that, and that,
Yeah,
anyways,
it's
but
like a minor six chord from a
yep,
six.
yeah, exactly. And so
Yeah, I think much more like the gospel guys from how you're describing it. Like,
mhm,
you analyze, like, I don't know, Autumn Leaves or All the Things You Are,
right,
or like Fly Me to the Moon.
yep,
Example, like, to me, that's like, 6, 2, 5, 1, 4, 7,
yep,
5 of 6, 6.
yeah,
Like, I think that in general, like the way I like to think about theory is that theory is like building a library for yourself. And the role of a library is to pull out information in the most stylistically adequate way. So it's like you have to have a task in hand. Like, if I give you a million books to organize in a room, like the
yeah,
records behind you, and I tell you organize them, there are infinite criteria by which you can organize objects. It could be
yep,
by name, first name, last name, shape, width, stack, like, how
color,
many
whatever,
things
yeah,
you do. And then somebody comes to the library and is like, pull out all the books by Russian authors from 1902, to 1903. And then you spent 10 years organizing the books based on color.
right,
It's like your system is useless for the job.
right,
So to me, like, you have to look at the style of music you're attempting to play. So if I'm trying to play, let's say, gypsy jazz, and I'm thinking about minor swing as being in G major, it will lead me down a path of playing terribly.
mhm,
Because I'm not addressing the mind. It's like, and like, the no minor one thing. It's like, yeah, like a blues, for instance, like, is there no such thing as one dominant too? Like,
right,
it's like, there comes a time where, whatever the sound is encycling, has to be the center of the vision, or you're just not going to play well. But I
right,
do agree with you that, like, for people that are looking at charts and not able to distinguish based on the relationship of the chords what scale to apply to the minor chords, this is a huge problem. Like, to not know your Dorians from your Phrygians from your Aeolians, and not knowing like which parent scale the chords belong to is a huge issue. So
yeah. I
that,
mean,
like,
honestly, I think people kind of misunderstand me when I say no minor one. They're like, oh, so you're just thinking from the major perspective, and it's like, well, not really. Like I'm thinking more so of like for example, like I do everything through tunes, kind of how you're saying. So like when
yeah,
you posted your summertime video, which I thought was great, and
thank you.
that version is a great version, and I actually learned from that version, that recording of how to apply a different what I call layers. So like for me, when I hear summertime or I play it, I'm thinking like, oh, that starts on the sixth chord. It's let's say A minor or whatever, just for ease sake. And it's like to me, I get the whole like, oh, it's 1 4 and then 2 5 to the relative major. But to me, it's like the minute you say relative major, we all know what that means. It's like, oh, well, that means A minor is the sixth then. And it's like, okay,
But even that example is problematic because it's like, those Fs on the A minor are not really the sound. Like, like that harmony to me is like really like, from listening to Summertime, that's like, it's almost modal and melodic minor for the whole duration where it's revolving around like that one chord and then it modulates like that. Like like to me, that tune, like I'm really hearing that kind of
right.
sound on the one chord. And if you tell me six minor, then my brain automatically applies that C major scale to A as the root. Like that's so. Again, it's about having nuanced language to where you can choose from this full palette of tonal color and apply. I mean, like I get. I mean, it's like I started a YouTube channel and called it No Short Bitches, and then like it's like, but you're right there, like you're banging a short bitch. It's like, well, it's like, she's hot, It's like like you kind of you put yourself in this situation, right?
Oh God. No, I get it. I get it, man. The thing for me though is that like people lose their minds, and I'm like, guys, I'm not gonna apologize for what I thought in my head.
No.
You're out of your mind. But in terms of what you're saying, like I get it. I get what you mean, and I don't think you're incorrect. It's just for me, like what really opened my ears, because I feel like in that tune that version you were talking about, what I learned from that version, which I think I even put in some of my videos, because I know I've done Summertime, but where I learned, how to play to treat, and to me, this is just how I hear it, but to treat that A minor as that, it's almost like I'm hearing that, like you said, you're not playing the F, you're playing the F sharp, right? And to me that, when I hear that, it sounds like a 2 chord to me. So and it's like I have this whole thing where it's like a lot of these, 90% of these minor tunes are from the 6, and then you layer like Wes does. He plays Dorian over all those things. Mm-hmm. It's like he'd be playing 4-on-6. He'd be playing, what do you call it? Here, let me grab my guitar.
Sure.
Give me a second.
Yeah.
I from listening to him, it's like you hear him just do all these things. Oh, I don't have my pick. Shit. Oh well, whatever. But like to me, when I hear, can you guys hear this?
No.
Okay.
Your Zoom is filtering out the shit.
Let me.
You need the original from musician. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like, I learned from that. It's like, oh, that's another way of doing it. Where I think if I'm
where you're thinking 2 minor, 3 minor in G.
Yeah, like whatever you want to call it, but it's like you're not playing the B half diminished. It's like you're not using the F like you said, which is cool. Sure. It's like. And to me, that whole, you do that constantly where you're playing from the 6, but you treat it as a 2,
Yeah, but like I would say, like to me, that specific harmony, like that 2 chord in it would be the 2 chord from A melodic minor, and the 5 chord would be the 5 from A melodic minor. So it would be like this kind of 2 chord to this kind of 5 chord. With,
so you're thinking
natural 9 flat 6. I'm actually thinking about that. It's like
Right.
So like if I'm doing that kind of transition to the 4 chord, that 4 chord is Dorian. Like when I get here, I'm really thinking Dorian on the 4, and I think a lot of minor blueses behave in that way. It's either 2 parallel Dorians, like blue bossa, or like that's a pretty common move in jazz where you're going from 1 minor to 4 minor, or minor swing, or Joseph, or like tunes like that. Wherever there's like I don't really have a strong harmonic language for thinking about a minor chord as the center. It's really like only that situation for when it's going from the harmony of the 1 to the harmony of the 4 minor and back. And the moment it kind of veers somewhere else from that, I'm looking at the tonal harmony that happens in that key. But yeah, like that kind of thinking only carries you so far. When you're looking at like Wayne Shorter tunes or something that's really dysfunctional harmony that's not revolving around the key, whenever you see minor chords floating in space, they're like 90% of the time Dorian or melodic minor.
Right. So I was chatting with another guitar player, and he was kind of talking about that. And I wouldn't disagree. Specifically talking about Wayne, I feel like a lot of Wayne's stuff is like a lot of that layering kind of idea of how I hear it, where he's
layering like chords on chords.
Yeah, like layering different key centers at so let's say we take like Night Dreamer. Mm-hmm. See, honestly though, personally, I think a minor blues is from the 6. That's how I kind of hear it. Mm-hmm. Because I get I got to get my pick, but Mr. PC, for whatever, and I get the whole, I get it, but to me, it's like when I finally heard, oh, the 6 to the 2, it does sound like a minor 4. That's the whole point. It does sound like, oh, that's minor 4, you know.
Well, I mean, I agree that, like, harmonically, like, you could say it like that, like, whatever, Mr. PC is like a song in E flat. But in practice, like, like, in terms of
From
like
the
the
6
melody,
though.
yeah, like an E flat, like from like C minor to F, it's like, you're going 6 minor to 2. And that perspective is there and it's real. But when you're looking at the kind of melodies that I would say are common in jazz, clearly, like, that, like, people are treating it as 2 parallel Dorians, at least, sometimes two melodic minors. I think the question is, like, what kind of story you tell yourself about the thing is most helpful to center, like, for your vision of playing. Like, it's like language at the end of the day is a tool, like, and that's really where people online get fucked up. There's this quest to learn the correct language, but language needs to serve the correct sounds.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? It's like you listen to Wes. Wes is a great example. Like, Wes, repeatedly makes the same kinds of choices on minor chords.
Right.
Now, it's in that, like, situation of the first chord of Mr. PC, sometimes Wes will have like a,
Yep.
like, melodies that really go to the 6, and sometimes he'll do things that are more like Barry Heresy, to where they cadence, like, do something with the flat 6.
Yep.
And like, it's a question of, like, how you're conceptualizing seeing those notes. So for me, when I see, let's say, A flats in the territory harmonically, where I know, like, it's like a C, I'm thinking about a 5-1, right? Or like a 2-5-1, and like, to me, you said, where does a 2-5-1 come from? It's like a suspended 5 to a 5,
Right,
to a 1, and that sound, like, I'll have that A flat there, but when I get, it's a superimposed 5 chord, and when I get back to the territory of the 1, typically, like, Django, all these guys, they resolve from the flat 6 to the 6. That's really the sound.
Yeah.
Like that. So to me, that's really a part of the voice leading, of coming out of the tension. So whenever I'm using that flat 6 information, it's really the kind of stuff that you hear in enclosures of the 5, or in tension that gets released into the 6.
Right.
And then the transition into the 4 minor chord could be like, that's really your landing point, right? That's like the flat 3 of that harmony of the 4. So yeah, but I guess with, like, I agree with your premise. I mean, you have like, I'm not disagreeing with the no minor 1. To me, like, the only situation where I would call something a minor 1 would be like a modal interchange kind of thing, where I'm borrowing the 1 chord from a minor parallel harmony. If I'm in C major and I see a C minor,
Right. So
it's a Triani tune.
what, for me, like, I feel like what the blues is telling us is that whole idea of the parallel motion, because when you play a blues,
What do you mean?
like, you don't think in just one place. Like, I feel like a blues is telling you that we're in multiple places at once.
How?
In the sense that when you play a regular, let's say just a major blues, you're thinking both C major and C minor.
When you play
So, like, let's say we're playing Tenor Madness. It's like the classic, the beginner way is you just play everything minor, It's like, but when you listen, I feel like Sonny's telling you, major, minor, it's like you tend to me, what I realized is that, like, you play a lot of those major pentatonic ideas, that G is really important, but it doesn't mean you can't play.
Yeah.
And it's like, I never really understood why it is. I guess for me, like I have a saying where it's like, minor one is the what, no minor one is the why. In terms of like, well, if I'm playing B flat set, B flat blues, and it's like, well, and this goes for minor blues even too. It's like, well, why can I add that E? Like, why does the E sound so good? I get that it sounds good, but it's like, why and where does it come from? And in my opinion, it's coming from the parallel motion. It's like, this is 6 of D flat. And it's like, well, it's like, that's just flat 3 of that key that we're, it's like, oh, wow, that kind of makes more sense to me, at least. I don't know, in terms of just how and why and where these things come from. Because I guess, like, to me, it's like the whole no minor one thing, everyone gets really caught up on the word, and it's like, oh, well, you're just thinking of everything from major. And it's like, well, okay, cool. Like, let's get beyond that. But let's think of it in terms of, like, once you start playing parallel and layering them, which I think, like, a lot of the cool tunes in jazz really are doing that. Like, if you're thinking of Joy Spring, it's like the whole idea is you're in F and you're in F minor. Like, you're in both, kind of like. And it's like, well, where is some of that coming from? Same thing with Daoud. It's like you're in E flat, but you're not. You're like in E flat minor. It's like all the motion is E flat minor, 6 chord of G flat motion.
Yeah, I mean, I guess in my perception, I'm less disturbed with, like, I did like a thing about Barry Harris, which my saying about Barry Harris, which I'm very proud of, I said it a million times, is that the Barry Harris method is like the pull-out method. It works for some of the people some of the time. So yeah.
Dude, you're hilarious.
Thank you. That Chris guy from Shit I Learned from Barry Harris contacted me and talked a lot of trash. And then, you know who I'm talking about?
Say it again, sorry.
Chris, the guy who looks like Parks. Yeah, the guy looks like Walter White. Talks about Barry Harris, things I learned from Barry Harris.
Oh, yeah.
He's like the Barry Heisenberg.
Yeah.
So yeah, he was like talking a lot of trash, and then he was just like, I was like, teach me. And then we had like a 3-hour talk where he's like, about like all the Barry Harris stuff. And he's a very nice guy, very generous with his time. Thanks, Chris, if you're watching this. But I came out of it being like, nah. Still, I mean, I get it.
Fair enough. I mean, yeah.
But it's not for guitar. Let's just can we like come to terms with, like, I get like Pascal does it, but like nobody else does, and it's just not for guitar, clearly. And also, there's something like deeply confusing about that approach. But
what don't you like about it? Like, it's just that it's confusing and it's hard to apply to guitar.
No, it's not that confusing. Like, I get it. Like, I understand the concept. There are 4 scales of chords. There's a harmony system.
Right.
It's basically 5/1 in these 4 contexts.
Right.
And like these applications, that it all makes sense. It's, for me, it's incompatible with how I see harmony, and it creates more exceptions than rules. If you actually look at how jazz works, like, there's a lot of things you can't use, and like, it's not, in my mind, it's not a very good harmonic system. But one thing that kept coming up was, like, Chris kept saying, like, melodic minor, like, where does it come from? Where does it, like, you know what I mean? Like, and they have like this weird, it's really like, we call them like Barry Krishnas. It's like they have like this weird like origin story, like where like a whole tone scale like banged another whole tone scale, and they had like these inbred children. They're diminished chords. You take one from here, there's genes, and it's just like, do you need it to be like fucking Wolverine, where you don't like where how did he get the adamantium in his body? Where does Mixolydian come from? It's like, what the fuck do you mean? Yeah. There are these notes, and you put them together, and that's where it comes from, right? Yeah. So my system of harmony I mean, it's simple, okay?
Yeah.
Like you're the like with Marbin, with my band, before I started talking mad shit about universities, we used to get hired all the time to give master classes when we were on tour in jazz departments, which, is not that lucrative. So I'm not so sad that it's
Do
over.
they hate you now?
Cannot get that gig again.
Oh, I'm sure they hate you.
Yeah, but I mean, I mean, they hate me, but they are just a Ponzi scheme that's about to collapse. And
Yeah.
when they, when all these professors, lose their salaries very soon, they're gonna all flood YouTube, like with their pockets turned inside out.
Right.
Figure out how their computer cameras work. It's like, so here's a bebop scale, yeah. Can't wait. But anyways, but before that, we used to get hired all the time. And one thing that every time we'd start a master class at a university level, I would ask, hey, what's a scale? Mm-hmm. And the students wouldn't know. And then the professor would like, be like this, like, what's a scale? It's like, well, what is it? Like, how do you define this thing that we keep working on?
Right.
And it'd be like a collection of notes. That's what some people would say. And be like, well, C and D are a small collection
Right.
of notes. You know what I mean? C, D, E are a collection of notes too. So it's like no, like a thing you play up, and it's just like what I really quickly realized is that people are consumed with information that they don't have the basic definitions for. And I mean, I'm not gonna quiz you. I'll tell you my definition.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you what is
Yeah.
your, because I actually agree with you in from that last statement. It's like they're totally just hook, line, and sinker with all these terminologies and stuff, but it's like they don't even really think about why. Like, yeah.
So here's the origin story of all harmony in my mind, and Barry Harris system and the blues scale are outside of it. So here 5 rules. Number 1, we are not using any intervals smaller than a half step. That is for the non-Westerners.
Right.
They can keep it. Number 2, every octave is the same. The octaves are repetitive.
Right.
You can't have scale A like Holdsworth in one octave, scale B in the next.
Right. Okay.
Octave. Number 3, scales are abstract. Modes are what happen in reality. So if you want a good definition of, let's say, the difference between a scale and a mode, is that a scale is a mode minus a tonal center. The moment that you put a bass note or onto a scale, it becomes a mode. What we hear are modes. We are not capable of hearing a C major scale. C major is existing in the conceptual world where the pitches C, D, E, F, G, A, B float around. And the moment we hear anything, we will hear it against a given bass note or against an imagined one that through the contour of a line, our brain will search for the center of gravity and tell it to us. So that will be like a D-Dorian line that our brain will organize based on the way that we're spacing out these pitches in time. It will make up a center. So it's conceptual. Parent scales, not modes, are conceptual entities. Rule number 4, and this is where we take a sharp turn away from a lot of shit, is that you cannot have 2 half steps in a row. So you can never have a situation where you have C, C sharp, D, or E, F, F sharp in a scale. And this takes out everything from Barry Harris scale, to Messiaen modes, to all the Holdsworth stuff, to blues scales. And the idea is that it's eliminating a level of dissonance that is not really a part of tonal music. Now, even Barry Harris will say that his scales are only used for harmony, not for melody. There's a separate system for melody.
He does say that.
The whole idea of scales is that they are the bridge between melody and harmony. So they give you this perfect bridge between all the existing chords and the things that fit them. If you have, a half step then it means that at some place where you're inverting the harmony, you're going to create the half. So it's like, a blues scale will give you a dominant chord with a sharp five, this kind of structure to support like, a shuffle, which you don't want. And a Barry Harris scale will give you a major 7 chord with like a flat 6 in it. That's not going to function well any way you invert it. Again, you will have usable things. You will have beautiful sounds. By the way, the Barry Harris people, I don't know if you're hip to this, but whenever you hear them say the word beautiful, it's a way of escaping the pocket. They can't apply it in time. They don't have the chops Barry had with it. So they're like, isn't this beautiful? It's a clever slipping out of time technique to like just give them an extra second to think about the next chord in the chord scale. They're like, beautiful. What a beautiful sound. I'm onto those motherfuckers. Anytime I hear them say beautiful, isn't this gorgeous? They're just thinking. They just don't have the control with the scale to actually play that shit in time. So watch Thomas or Chris or any of these fuckers play the shit. Like beautiful, beautiful. It's like they're slowing down their thinking right there. That's exactly what they're doing. If they're not, they don't care how it sounds. They've figured out this like little sleight of hand stuff.
Right.
But in any case, if you take this thing where you eliminate all the 2 half steps in a row, and then rule 5 is that you cram the octave with as many notes as you can following rule 4. Mm-hmm. So you think about like the fret 0 to fret 12, and you try to come up with all the mathematical ways to put all the notes together, not having 3 in a row. You come up with 7 parent scales, 33 modes, 4 diatonic scales, 3 symmetric scales. You have major, melodic minor,
all the classic,
harmonic minor, harmonic major, diminished, augmented, whole tone. That's it. 33 modes, 7 parent scales. That is the story of harmony. Anything else is passing tones within it. And again, I understand. What about like, double harmonic minor, like Hungarian minor? It's like, yeah, I'm not saying it doesn't exist. I'm saying it doesn't function. Any tonal harmony can be understood from those scales. Like, even a Barry Harris scale, is a combination of 2 things that exist in that. Like, you get your diminished chords exist, let's say, in 4 places in tonal harmony. You have the 7th chord in harmonic minor, the 7th chord in harmonic major, and you get 2 diminished chords from symmetric diminished. You can pair that with a 6th chord, with a minor 6th chord, with a dominant chord, with a dominant flat 5 that you get from melodic minor inharmonically. So to me, that's a much better and clearer system that fits every musical situation that I've ever run across.
I mean, honestly, I wouldn't say I disagree. I honestly feel like that's some no minor 1 logic right there, man. Like, I think that's great. I honestly, I don't see how anyone could disagree with that, to be honest. Yeah. And like when you referenced So What, and you said Dorian, do you think of that as like, how do you think of that? Do you think of that as like a minor 1? Because to me, I hear that as like,
so you see, like, to me, that whole frame of thinking is not so relevant to how I see jazz. Like, I think about everything as emerging from the root of what I'm playing, not from a parent scale.
The only problem I have with that is that for me personally, it was very confusing in terms of like, oh, it's 2/5 here, it's 2/5 there, and then you go here, and then this song goes there, and then that goes there, and then it's like it appears almost as everything's random when I don't think it is.
I think one thing that's really helpful is, they're tied together in a way. Like the parent scale is kind of like the glue that's holding a lot of the harmonies together and gives them common tones. But the thing that is changing is the bass note. That's the realist reality of playing jazz. You're playing a moving thing, and the thing, like, if you're not playing from a place of acknowledging the movement, then you're not organizing the sounds in your mind in the right way. Those are the points of reference that are shifting. Playing a jazz tune is like standing in a factory, painting in place while the canvases move around you.
That's nice. I like that.
You know what I mean? Like when you're trying to make one picture while you have this spin of the sounds.
Yeah, that's a cool analogy. I like that.
Yeah, so like, to me, so what is a really static tune, but like,
Mhm.
just hearing lines, you need to acknowledge it. Like you have this like do
100%. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
like even if you're hearing like approach notes and enclosures like
Right.
like I don't know, like I hear these, like you hear these melodies in your head, and they're always kind of like spinning around this center. So
100%.
I think to me, like what I call caged, which is to me like it's not like this like meth way of like doing cage, but like the Joe Pass caged. It's acknowledging that there are seven, that the way that the fretboard is organized is around 7 points of gravity, which are just the one octave shape. So if I'm like, let's say, looking at D, the way that I see it, I call these the four West octaves and the three swing octaves.
Okay.
So the four West octaves, like D to D, would obviously look like these, right?
Right.
Like, just like the one octave shapes that I can grab D in. And then the three swing octaves would be those Bucky Pizzarelli type octaves, where it's like two dead strings in the
Oh, I
middle.
see. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
D to D, B to D, B to
Yeah,
D.
okay.
And if I organize them in the order they appear, right? I have this one, two,
Right.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And that is what caged is. Like the C form has this pattern of one octave shapes. C has the Bucky octave,
Right.
A has the West octave, G has the Bucky and the West octave, E
Right.
has the West and the Bucky octave, and D has this. This is true for majors, minors, augmenteds, diminished. It never moves.
It never changes, yeah.
So, like, if you're organizing it in one octave chunks, to me, those are the points of reference that move with you as you move your hand. The worst feeling in jazz is where you have a grip and you're playing the scale up, and there's this feeling of moving away from home. What you want to do is be like a snail where you're carrying your home on your back. So when I'm moving here, the point of reference tonally, physically, it's like the piano player moving his left hand with the chord, to where you have this physical place to give yourself that reference point that's moving with you at all times.
Yeah, I would agree.
So if I'm playing like what I consider the C form of that D minor, the A form,
Yep.
that G minor form,
Yep.
E form, the D form. And that's true for like changes too. So like if I'm looking at like Fly Me to the Moon or whatever, Stella by, doesn't matter. Like
Yeah.
it's true for diminished chords, for anything. Like Stella by Starlight, I'll map out like the root motion. So like if I'm thinking like in this area, like dee-do, ba-da-dee-do, ba-dee-da-da-dee-do. So for me here, like I went from this A form, E minor 7 flat 5, based
Yep.
on this octave, to this A dominant, sorry, that's like in the D form, right?
Yeah.
Going to E minor form, C minor, F, like F in an A form, F minor in a A minor form, whatever, B in a.
I get you. Yeah, yeah.
So like E flat right here. So I have a map of all the harmony wherever I am.
Right.
And I think that's the mapping process for me. But it's about teaching yourself to hear melody in reference to moving bass. I think that's the real challenge of jazz guitar.
Yeah.
If you just learn licks and they're floating in space, you don't really have that
You can't apply
comfy
that.
feeling
Yeah.
where you're in control. So yeah, I mean, like I would say that thing of applying, like let's say applying the C major scale, applying that, like you call it 2 minor. The real process is being like, okay, here's the C major scale, but now I'm seeing it
From D.
this reference.
Yeah, yeah. And I would agree with that. I'm not disagreeing at all. I think that's important.
Right.
I guess to my ear, it's like to my ear when I hear, it's kind of what you're saying. You just said it's like it ultimately matters what you're hearing, and to me it's like when we be playing all these songs and then you insert certain notes, it's like I hear clearly what it is. And I guess I just have different names for things functionally. It's the same thing ultimately. Really, it doesn't matter in the end, which this is what people don't realize. It's like, guys, relax. It doesn't matter. As long as you're playing.
it's like it doesn't matter if you're good. It matters if you suck. Like, you know what I mean? It's like if you suck ass at playing music, then like this, like it's very fair to blame your systems.
Right.
It's like if you like your playing is the sum of your choices as a practicer. You know, it's just that
Oh, it
simple.
really is.
Like, you know, it's like if you're playing and like you just sound like a fucking idiot playing over like so what after like 5 years of playing guitar,
Right.
you should reevaluate
You're
how
doing
you're
something wrong,
navigating
yeah.
these two chords. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it doesn't matter. It's all the same. It's not all the same. Some people are much better at this shit. Like you should do something from somebody that works. Like one of my pet peeves is like, you know, people. It happens in schools and it happens on YouTube. Don't study with people whose playing you don't like.
Right.
Just spend zero time investigating and like what good
What is-
is
yeah,
your
yeah.
system
Yeah.
if you can't play? Like it's
Yeah.
like even if hypothetically it can work, it's just like it didn't work for you.
Right.
It's like so it's like what exactly are you teaching?
Yeah, you're not going to learn to write from someone who can't write.
Yes, it's exactly that. So it's like again, like you know, you have to have. Sometimes you do find good players who are great in spite of the shit they believe about music theory, not because of it. And that happens a lot in jazz. Like you see
Or
a
you
lot.
even have some people that are really great players and terrible teachers.
Yeah, just or people have like you know, the most important element I think of improvising is taking this information that your subconscious digested and just releasing it, you know. And some people can do it without like some deep way of explaining it or a theoretical understanding of their instrument or a way of passing that forward, that information forward, or no interest in passing. Like you know, I got to spend like a month with Alan Holdsworth in a van in 2012. We were opening up for his trio, and that motherfucker had no interest in explaining anything about what he did. No interest. Like it's not.
Really?
He wasn't shy about it. Just he truly did not want to. He didn't want to talk about it. Like no. Like you know,
Wow.
and he had. I'm sure he had the tools to talk about it, but it was like in their generation, it was just not cool. It was like. It was antithetical to how they were as people. You know, it was like you were supposed to come up with your own shit, and you're not supposed to talk about it. Like you're supposed to just hear what comes out of a person. Everybody needs to come up with their own stuff. And you know, you really, you know, he put out some like instructional material that was almost like you know intentionally confusing. But I don't know. I don't know if he could talk about it if he wanted to, but he clearly didn't want to. He spent his
Interesting.
whole life not figuring out a bridge between what he's doing and how to make other people do it. Like he was not. He was interested in keeping it to himself. And some people are like that. That's fine. But like you know, you as a student, you have got to come up with your best guess as to what another person that you admire is thinking,
Right.
and then try to think that way and then compare the results. Record yourself, be it with Wes, and be like, am I closer or farther or the same? Like, did it not work at all? Did it bring me farther or closer to that sound, right? If it's like, whatever, if it's thinking about upper structures, you know, that might be like, you know, ooh, like I'm playing 4-on-6 on that G minor. If I'm thinking about a B flat major or a D minor chord, that might be the sound that I'm looking for, right? It's like if I'm thinking chord on chord.
Right.
To me, like, you know, that's a much healthier, let's say, way of thinking in that specific style. If you're playing like Django, trying to play that way, minor 6 arpeggios and diminished arpeggios might be the way that you want to, like the main tools
Right.
that you want to apply to that harmony to get closer to the sound.
How
So-
he's sounding, yeah.
yeah, so like at that point, like even if an A minor 6 exists inside a G major scale, thinking about the G major scale is not going to help you. more than thinking about A minor 6 directly. So it's about just choosing.
See, I'm just to be clear, I'm not saying that I'm thinking G major. I'm totally thinking A minor, like you said earlier.
Yeah.
I guess my whole point is that I'm just kind of having a connection of like, oh, that's also the 2 of G.
100%. I mean, and I think like, like your way of thinking, when you have students, let's say, that are in the, like, in a place where their treatment of minor chords is just triadic,
right?
And whatever's in between is like a mystery. Then they need to think about G. Like, it's like that's certainly like the best way to fill in.
To kind of I get what you're saying.
It's like, but what I would be, what I guess where I would advise people is to sort of, what I advise people to do is to just make harmony a continual point of study. You just gotta keep trying to figure out what's going on, and even with it, understand that navigating harmony based on like trying to become more like your heroes is not just learning harmony, it's learning behaviors through harmony. Right? Wes Montgomery behaves a certain way.
Right.
Bud Powell behaves a certain way. Sonny Stitt behaves a certain way. What are those things that they're doing?
Right.
And how do you make yourself, like, be in a place where you're making similar choices to whatever you want to become?
Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah. Let me ask you, one thing I've noticed, like on learning all these tunes, is what I call the parallel motion idea, which to me is what a blues is telling us, right? Mm-hmm. So when you take certain tunes, and I start to, once I really started hearing how and where some of these chords were coming from, I started realizing this whole idea of, oh, well, they're seemingly layering two different harmonies on top of each other. So for example, if we're talking about, kind of like I said earlier, like Joy Spring or Daoud, or like Wayne does this a lot, where he, like in Night Dreamer, he's in both places at once. He's kind of to me, he's hearing G minor, but he's playing G major too. It's like both at the same time, especially when you have the, it's like, the whole, if you take that G out or G major out and just make it minor, it sounds like a regular, it sounds like Hit the Road Jack. Mm-hmm. And it's like, to me, what I noticed is this idea of borrowing from both related keys, or the parallel motion. And I know that's nothing new, like parallel, people say that. But I guess for me, it's like, that's kind of what really reinforced this idea of, oh, he's hearing it as, to me at least, he's hearing it as a 6 and a 1, and it's both at the same time, which is what I feel like a lot of these guys are doing, especially when you hear some of these tunes that are like, for me, when I would be playing certain songs, if you're in C and you're just 3 6 2 5 1, but and then all of a sudden, why? It's like, well, what these minor 2 5s, I never really understood. I never orally really heard why those sound so good, and it's like they do, and it's undeniable. But it's like when I'd be trying to improvise over them, it's like, well, why does this work? Like Cole Porter does it all the time, where he's playing, minor 2 5s to major. Mm-hmm. And it's like that whole play of being
minor 2 5 to major is the 2 5 from harmonic major, right?
So if we take "I Love You," mm-hmm. To me, so it's
like, what key is that in?
F, I believe.
F. So like, if I have like a minor 2 5 1 to F, to me, like, that sound, right? Mm. Like, it's F harmonic major, right? Like that is the 2 5. Like, you have, if you look at diatonic scales, each one gives you a 2 5 1. The plain Mixolydian one in C, right? It's just a. that one's just like the key of C major. If I'm looking at melodic minor, then it's like a minor 2 chord going to a dominant with a flat 6 natural 9. It goes to minor obviously, but like, you can borrow from that and take it to a major key. The harmonic minor is your traditional minor 2-5, and then the Cole Porter ones and all those, like the Walt Disney, kind of like those sounds are just like C harmonic major, right? And in C harmonic major, your chords are 1 major 7, 2 minor 7 flat 5, 3 minor 7, 4 minor major 7, 5 dominant, flat 6 major 7 sharp 5, 6 or 7 diminished, and 1 major 7. So all these sounds, like, that they come from that place.
See, for me, I can't help but hear that as parallel motion in terms of like, and I think I get this from the church guys because they do that all the time, where it's like they're borrowing from that minor third away. Where in terms of like, if you're in C, it's like, to me at least, this is just my opinion, but the reason this sounds so nice, usually, like you said, you go to C minor, but it's like, well, I hear this as 7, 3, 6, but now you're in C major. You do a quick 4.
It's like going from the key of E flat to going to the key.
Sort of, yeah.
Well,
and it's like, to me, that's how my ear perceives it.
But then you're treating that G like G Phrygian over the G dominant?
No. See, I think Phrygian really is really not. I think it's played over the 6 a lot. Not all the time, but most of the time when you hear Phrygian, I say true Phrygian's from the 6, because you be playing. A lot of times you're applying. I mean, it's like that. To me, that's coming from A flat, which is just the 4 key of E flat. If you're treating this as, and that would be 4 of A flat also. It's like you're hearing. To me, it just you tend to hear those sounds. Like that's what Deluge does. Like Wayne does this, I feel like, a lot. It's kind of one of his things.
Yeah. No, in Anna Maria, you see like progressions like that are like Phrygian, like 1 flat 2 major 7. But like again, to me, in my mind, that is like the topic that the place it comes from is modal interchange, right? Like I would see a
basic,
borrowed from parallel Phrygian. But when you say parallel harmony and when I say it, we mean very different things.
I think so,
and
yeah.
I find like the way you're describing it confusing. Like it's like, for me, like I'm trying to understand, but it's hard for me to follow that kind of thinking. It's kind of like incompatible a little bit with how I see the guitar. Like if I'm talking about parallel harmony, the way I see it, is that you have, if I'm in the key of C major, I have 6 other keys that have the note C in them. And they're really easy to find, right? Like B flat, A flat, G, F, E flat, and D flat.
See, those are all parallel minor keys.
Yeah, so it's like that's like you would see their Dorians basically, or their 6 chords, their Aeolians.
Well, it depends. It's like it's how are you treating it? Because I feel like the most common motion that sounds nice to us is treating this as, if you're in C and then you play, it's like you're treating that as 6 of E flat or whatever it is. You can treat it as 2 as well, which would give you B flat sounds.
Right. So I'd say in my vision of it, in the way that you see it manifest in pop, let's say, like from thinking about like a Billy Joel tune where it's just like something like that. Da de de do, like something like where it's like going from like a 1 chord to a sharp 4 minor 7 flat 5 to a 4 chord, like 6 minor 1 dominant, 4, 4 minor. So for me, like if I analyze that harmony, I'd call it 1 borrowed chord from Lydian.
So the F sharp, explain where you think the F sharp, because I really like that chord and I have a certain.
So yeah. So for me, parallel harmony is about laying out, like what I'm saying is that I have 12 possible keys, but every 7 keys share at least one note. It's really defined because C Ionian is where I'm drawing like my harmony from, but I have the harmony of C Dorian, C Phrygian, C Lydian, C Mixolydian,
Of course.
C Ionian, C Locrian. And I'm looking at the keys that those come from. So
100%.
B flat would be C Dorian, A flat would be C Phrygian, G would be C, etc., etc. So now what I'm really doing is I am moving to those keys, parallel because they share the root, right? I'm switching, that's modal interchange. They're parallel modes to C Ionian. So let's say I'm going to C Lydian. Lydian's actually a weird place to go to because it's the only exception. But let's actually go to a different, let's go to Phrygian, right?
Okay.
Just for shits and giggles. Now, if I go to C Phrygian, the key of A flat, if I cadence to it, if I move to it, I guess it's a bad place to start the conversation. Let me just back up just 1 second and just put one concept in. Harmony can do one of 3 things. Harmony can create the feeling of a tonic, the feeling of a subdominant, and the feeling of a dominant. The feeling of a tonic, the way that harmony affects melody is it can make melody feel like it's an arrival, like you're home. It can feel like a subdominant, which is distancing, moving away from home to another stable place, the neighbor's house.
Right.
That's what your 4 chord and your 2 chord does, but that's also what every place that's not a tonic or a dominant does in music. And then you can also go to a dominant, which is like a phone call to go somewhere specific, right? Like, go to that subdominant or go to that tonic. That's how I think about dominance. Modulation is when you pick up your shit and you move to a new house. So if I move to A flat, not borrow from A flat, I 2-5 to that place.
Right.
Now this is new home, right? Not talking about that situation. I'm going to take things from the A flat momentarily, go to that key for a second, and come back. Now, if I take the 5 chord of any of these parallel modes, they have a function inside that key already. I can't really take, let's say, E flat and say that I'm borrowing the 5 chord from Phrygian because that's sub 5 of 2 in that key, right? It has a sound already. That E flat, the 5 chord of A flat, functions to pull you to somewhere specific in that key. But I can take the subdominant chords from that key and enrich my harmony. So the 2 chord in A flat is B flat minor. That's the Phrygian like modal interchange chord, and the flat, and so that would be like flat 7 minor, right? If I have a 2 and instead of the 5 I go there. That kind of feeling, like D minor, B flat minor to C, or D flat, D minor. That's a harmony borrowed from the key of parallel Phrygian. That D flat minor, like a Radiohead outro would have that. Right. So those parallel sounds, that's like how and you can get them from every mode. So Dorian gives you 1 minor and flat 3 major 7, right? Like if you I'm taking the 2 and 4 chords from each one of these keys. The problem with Lydian is that its 2 chord and its 4 chord already exist inside the key of Ionian. They share too much. A minor is the 2 chord of parallel Lydian, but it's the 6th chord of C major. Right. C major is the 4 chord of parallel Lydian, but it's the 1 chord of C major. So I take the one thing that is truly unique. There are 2 things that are really unique about, 3 things are really unique about parallel Phrygian. I can have 7 minor, but that's borrowing its Phrygian chord, which has a void note, so that's a little problematic. You can take its 7 chord, which is that, like that's really what we're doing. The modal interchange chord is sharp 4 minor 7 flat 5, or you can take its 5 chord, which is really, in a way what happens in a lot of tunes, like take the A Train. When you move to that, but it's not really 5/5. You can apply other stuff to it. That kind of sound. So yeah, like that's how I see parallel harmony. So like if I just go through it in an organized way, like Dorian gives you 1 minor and flat 3 major 7. Phrygian gives you flat 7 minor and flat 2 major 7. To me, Lydian gives
that's kind of how I think about it, honestly. You're kind of saying that I think we just might have a little bit different names for it, but I actually really agree with that.
Yeah, so like to me though, the points in harmony when I would analyze it as parallel is typically has nothing to do with cadences. That's like it's like to me all parallel harmony is subdominant. So whenever I see it, it's a point of arrival. It's never those points of connecting through harmonic motion. When I see a 2/5, let's say, I'm never thinking about parallel harmony. I'm thinking about cadencing.
Okay.
So to me, it's only language used for arrivals in an unfamiliar place, and like going to a neighbor's house. Now, again, going back to behavior through harmony, Wes Montgomery is really like a guy that always applied the subdominant harmony as a substitution for the dominant. So if he's playing over a G7, like, he'll go and play it like, so, like those lines over the G7, like, over like that G7, like that. That's turning that G into like F major 7 with G in the bass. So I'm not saying that you're not able to apply those sounds. I'm saying I'm still analyzing it as a G7. What I choose to do on it depends on the sound I'm going for.
Right. Yeah, I get you.
So yeah, I mean that would be the way that I'm addressing that. But back to like your original point about two things happening at once. There's no such thing as at once in music. Like even if they're in the same territory of a chord, they have to be spaced out, or they can't be really on top of each other. They're spaced out in time, even though you're still in the territory of playing over a C major 7 chord or whatever. And you're applying two sounds for it. You're applying it in the beginning of the measure and then in the end of the measure. If you did it at the same time, it would be a chord. And it's that separation that, like, sometimes there's more than one option that fits, or sometimes there's a mismatch that sounds super musical. A classic example would be like a 1-6-2-5, where I'm applying blues to it. So I can think just major blues, like. Right.
Yeah. So how do you think of that? Because to me, I feel like that's two things at once.
So a pianist can play chords and then apply a scale with the other hand.
Right.
I'm thinking about it like a major blues scale is a color that works through a lot of harmony. If you think about here, I mean, with parallel harmonies, I'll show you how it works. If I think about parallel harmonies, is divided into two groups. The parallel harmonies that come from major modes, meaning Ionian, Mixolydian, and Lydian. The one thing that all three of these families have in common is major pentatonic. So if I take their harmonies and I write melodies with them that come from major pentatonic, then I know that those notes are going to fit. And that's typically how you play over, like how people write songs. Like you hold the sound of the scale in your head, and then you pull the harmonies, let's say from so those are the harmonies from parallel Mixolydian, the 5 minor, the flat 7 major 7, and the 7 minor 7 flat 5, or the sharp 4 minor 7 flat 5. They all work. If you go and see that G minor and go into like it's Dorian, you're missing the point a little bit. The point is how that major pentatonic gets recolored by the changing harmony.
Right.
Minor modes, even in a major key, all share the minor pentatonic. Meaning, like, if I'm thinking about Aeolian, Dorian, and Phrygian,
Right. They're all the same minor pentatonic.
they all have this backbone. But even if I'm in the key of C major and I see a D flat major in it, the sound is that C minor pentatonic.
It still works, yeah.
It's not even that it works. It's more like that's how great writers, like, they have this melodic bank floating in their head that gets recolored by these moving bass notes.
100%.
And when they get back to the C, they're back in major. So to me, like, that's the thing about parallel harmony. You have to like sometimes see the melodic tool not as like what is the correct 7-note thing, but what is the subset that ties all these sounds together and makes it musical. It's kind of like when a lot of people in jazz eat a lot of shit when they're playing on the 4 chord in a major tune. Mm-hmm. Like, if you notice, like, tunes like After You've Gone, or See You in My Dreams, or Just Friends, where it starts like 4 major, 4 minor. Because that note, the root of the 4 chord, fucking sucks on the 4 chord. Mm-hmm. It's like, it's not the sound, so it's just like playing, like, in that context, C on that C chord, even though it fits the chord, like, what the sound really is playing, like the major pentatonic of the 1, like, just
right. It's all
So like that on the 4 chord, like, it's, even though like those notes are so I mean, like, the line, and like the place where when you listen, like, look at people's lines, how they play on that, like, C major.
Now, when you were saying the C minor, how they all share that, to me it's like the one pushback I would give is that for me it's like everyone knows that minor pentatonic is the same as major pentatonic, just
starting from a different point, right?
So but I guess
it'll be E flat major pentatonic.
Right, yeah. I guess that's what I mean when I say the whole layering. And it's like at my church gig, it's like they just call that churchy. Yeah, just make it churchy, It's like you just play, but you're still in.
I 100%. There's no disagreement. Like I think that if you just become aware of this phenomena where the 2 main colors in blues are happy blues and sad blues, and they emerge from one point, then like that's basically the whole story. So if I have like a 1-6-2-5 and I play a minor blues on the 1-6-2-5, it totally fits, like,
right. Right.
And if I analyze that harmonically, like on the 6th chord, the minor is like the flat 2, the flat 7,
5,
the 6, the flat 6. It has nothing to do with it, right? But it's like those colors work because, like, it's just like a pianist applies this color, this general color, broadly on an entire harmony, and that's what we call blues. So again, it's like this whole where does it come from thing. Like, to me, the thing is that, like, you're trying to sort of, when you ask that, you're trying to not treat theory like it's downstream of actual music. But it's like it comes from those records. We have created this sound. Theory is just a word, is just a way to put it to words.
Right.
We're dealing with something that's like right there, like, you know what I mean? We're just like, yeah, that's the happy sound, which is not that happy, right? It's like, that's the sad sound, which is more like ominous than sad, like, or like when you have that flat five.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I guess to me, I hear those things as like when you did the 162, you know. I hear these as like I learned that from G Baby Ain't I Good to You.
Yeah.
Where it's like those are all secondary dominants where you're treating them. You can't play those as true 5 chords because it just sounds like ass.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Listen, like Joe Pass, Oscar Peterson play. It's like it's always just this thing where like if you overanalyze it, you're just missing that they're just playing a blues scale.
Right. I guess for me though, it's that like, you know, one thing that I learned from my church gig is when they would do a 3-6-2-5 turnaround. We'd be in C, but they'll play, and but they're playing
C minor pentatonic.
Yeah, and it's like all those. Yeah, I feel like all those altered dominant notes
said like are just moving you down. Like,
yeah, and all those altered dominants, no matter which way you alter them, it's all just. And specifically, it's like Aeolian sounds, especially, you know. And to me, like we were talking about Just Friends, I feel like that minor 4 sound is really, you know, you get that C minor if we're doing, you know, if we're in G. It's like that C minor sound to me is like the 2 of B flat, which is just parallel. It's G major, G minor again.
So to me, like that would be like the 4 of G harmonic major. It would be a minor major 7 with a sharp 4. So like that's an interesting place, like because you can put like 4 minor or 4 diminished.
Right.
Like,
right. Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
So like that, just friends, da 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 do. Like to me, like it totally supports a diminished or a minor.
For sure. Yeah.
Or even Like
I feel like you can insert that. The diminished is like you can really place that in a lot of different spots. It's like it's really is. It's like
now diminished. I think is really like what makes guitar players' brain just go into like malfunction mode. Like you get a choice whether you're actually going to think about it or just chimp out and just like, you know, move it in minor thirds.
Chimp out. I love that.
Like, and it's just like, you know, if you're doing that, then it's just like you've given up on thinking. You're just like, and then like you do it 3 times, like I'm here now and I don't see it. You know, because it's just like it shortcuts the brain.
That's funny.
But diminished can only be one of 3 things on an application. It can only be either 1 flat 3 flat 6 double flat 7. It could be the dominant substitution flat 2 3 5 flat 7, or it could be the Barry Harris thing, which is like 2 4 flat 6 7. Mm-hmm. And it has to be one of those 3 anytime you apply it.
Right.
So it doesn't matter what root you're applying it to. You're either thinking from like the diminished as a dominant substitution or as the counterpart to the Barry Harris thing.
Right. No, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's funny because I feel like we're kind of saying the same thing in different ways, which I kind of appreciate. But
there's no such thing as a minor. Just go to a high school. Have at it. They're ready.
It's funny, man, because one thing that I appreciate about just like the way that you're kind of explaining stuff and the way your videos are is it's like you're just doing it in your own way, which is like I just feel like I'm kind of tired of the whole trad way of like really explaining stuff. It's not that it's wrong. It's just that like there's no room for like any point of view. I just don't think that I don't like. No one really knows how Wes thought. No one really knows how Monk thought. Like we said earlier, it's like Monk's not even thinking half diminished, and all you hear is half diminished this, half diminished that, and it's like,
Yeah.
it's just interesting.
Also,
That
why are we busy about that type of how he thought? Like he was like the worst fucking soloist of all time. Can you survive a Monk solo? It's so sloppy and weird. Like it's like, do we like it? Like,
oh, they're gonna get you for that.
I like songs, but like the solos, is anybody like I feel like people who are like into Monk, it's just like an excuse to not learn how to move your fingers, just like
You're
cluster
hilarious.
boys. Like just like I'm soloing too. It's just like what are you doing, dude? It's like nobody likes that shit. Come on, get ready.
You're cracking me up.
Like Wes is great, but like it's like no, Monk's a genius. It's like that's fucking music. And like the music is great. He was a great songwriter. He was not a genius. Like he was just it's like one whole tone lick in like 3 minutes of torture.
You're
Like,
hilarious.
I don't know. Do you guys like Monk? What's your favorite Monk song? I don't know. Favorite. Like, I like watching it sometimes. It's like cool and quirky, but it's just like it's not even like in my top 100.
I get what you're saying. That's funny.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they hate you for that.
Yeah, no, I know, but I there's like 7 of them. Who cares what they think?
So, hey, let me ask you, like, what's it? Yeah, because how did you get started with like? Because I feel like you're doing half comedy and music theory and music. I love it, dude. It's so funny.
Thank you. Well,
did you just kind of naturally? It seems like you're kind of naturally like that already.
I'm a little like that. I'm not. I'm a little bit in character, I guess. But like, what happened? Yeah, COVID happened.
Right.
Marbin was touring full time before that. Then my saxophonist, Danny, who's my partner in Marbin, his wife left him and left him with like a 3-year-old kid, full time. And
Okay.
I was touring absolutely full time for my livelihood, my entire life before that. And then I was just like, fuck, I have no money.
Right.
I have to figure out how to make money now that we can't tour anymore because
Yeah.
this guy can't tour. So by a miracle of God, me and Nick got together. He used to be my student. I just texted like 4 of my students, like, do you know anything about video editing? And 3 of them were like, no. And Nick was like, yeah, I used to do it all the time. And I was like, I let him like live here for free in my old apartment that we turned into my studio. And he was just working all day on editing video, and we would just film. And that was like 3 years ago. And we just started doing content all the time.
That's great. Yeah, I need a little minion like that too, man. That's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. And I don't know, maybe as a sister. But Nick, do you have a sister?
No.
You have a brother though, right?
Yeah, I have a half brother.
Half brother. Can you video edit?
No, he sorts rocks.
He sorts rocks.
Oh,
Do you have a use
Jesus.
for that? He works out at the field.
Oh, yeah, that's
He
hilarious.
picks up heavy rocks and sorts them. He's building a pyramid. Do you need a pyramid?
That's funny.
No. So yeah, that was the thing, and now we have one of the largest Patreons on the platform. Ha!
Oh, wow, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, dude, we're moving up there. The only jazz one that's bigger than us right now is Jans Larsen, but he has a white ponytail, so I don't know how you're supposed to compete with that. That motherfucker's grandfathered in.
So,
Piano.
one thing that I feel like I might be taking the wrong approach in some ways, where I just be doing like these videos and just putting them up on YouTube and Instagram. But it seems like you're finding a better way to like monetize it through Patreon, like
Yes,
source.
you have to have a way of monetizing it. You also should be influenced with church by with your maybe like gospel chops, but not with the be doing. Add a will. Sorry.
No, you're fine.
Yeah, it's I would say that you see a lot of people who used to be famous on Instagram and YouTube and stuff and never figured out a way of monetizing. Like you have to sell something. You have to sell merch. You have to sell a subscription. You have to sell something. Something. So the motto has to be that, like, again, I think you need to have a sort of passion for what you're doing, to where, like, you have, like, like, you certainly have, like, a unique way of looking at music theory and looking about, like, progressing in this kind of thing, and, like, spreading, and, like, a unique way of looking at music the way you see it. And that's great. That's the foundation for everything. But, maybe have a sort of paywall, and that goes to everybody who's listening to this if this comes out, have a sort of paywall to where, you're not giving 100% of what you're doing away for free all the time, to where there's some sort of incentive to keep you alive. And I mean, man, it makes, and also, like, provide a quality service behind that paywall. I would say that, because, like, we have, like, one video a week coming out on YouTube, but we have, like, 3 or 4 coming out every week on Patreon. Also, like, do, like, monthly Zoom lessons, and it's kind of like catering to a community.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, like, I think you're on the right, from what I've seen, like, from your stuff, you're really on the right track with, like striking back hard. I think that's really important. Like, when people, like, troll your shit, just like, just fucking go like, destroy those motherfuckers.
Yeah, honestly,
like,
I have no patience for these people.
Yeah, but it's great. Like, that's I mean, I love that. I think if you want to win on the internet all the time, never be offended, always be funny.
Yeah.
Victory every time. Never offended, always funny. That's like, comedy trumps, being offended is losing.
Right.
It's like, and also realize that the internet is not real life.
Yeah,
You're
100%.
participating in theater. If you ever saw the movie Thank You for Smoking, did you ever watch that?
No, I don't think I did.
Great movie. It's about, like, a guy who works for the cigarette companies. He's like a lobbyist for them, and he's doing their PR, like, for smoking. And there's a moment in it where his son asks him, like, what he does for a living, and he's like, well, imagine that we're both advocating different sides of the of a story. Like, we have to argue our points. Like, when we're talking about what ice cream is best, you're going to represent chocolate and I'll be vanilla. And it's like, so go ahead. It's like, well, I think chocolate is best because blah blah. I like it. I've always liked it. And then the dad says, well, while it's true that some people like vanilla and some people like chocolate, what's really important is that we all come together in our love of ice cream. And the kid's like, but you didn't even, like, debate my point or win in any sort of way, like, again, in the argument. It's like, yeah, but I won them.
Right.
They are like, and it's like, who's them? It's like the people, whoever's supposed to listen to the argument. And it's like, it's just realize that you are never fighting a person. You don't know this person.
Right.
He doesn't know you. You are participating in theater that's observed by other people, and your role is to make them giggle.
Right.
And it's just like, if you are effective at making people giggle, and, like, just, if your interpretation of what being funny is sort of close enough to your audiences, then you're always going to win.
Right. I see what you're saying.
That's what the internet is.
Yeah.
And that's what winning looks like, I think. And but I mean, the figuring out the monetizing, now you have I know, because my comedy shit on Instagram gets, like, ridiculous amount of, like, traffic and zero money from that. Like, it's like, holy shit, all these famous people,
right,
they're just broke. There's no revenue.
They're getting all these numbers, but
there's no money. So it's like, for me, like, we have, like, Patreon, and, like, from that, like, I have, like, a roster of private students.
lessons,
Always full. Like, I'm always teaching, like, almost 40 hours a week. And it's, like,
that's great. Yeah.
Whenever somebody drops off, somebody takes their place, like 2 minutes later. So it's like, in terms of, like, making a living, it's been amazing, and I think, like, to get there, you have to figure out one way, like, oh, like whatever that thing, like your thing doesn't need to be my thing. Patreon is specific. You can have your own website. You can sell courses. You can sell T-shirts. You can sell coffee cups. It doesn't matter as long as like the thing you're selling is something that the audience that watches you is willing to consume, and is effective. If it's not working, then you're not doing the right thing. You know.
Yeah, I do. I do feel like my messaging has definitely hit a nerve, and I think it's more of like what
It definitely
like,
piqued my interest.
I mean, it's like, exactly, and it's not that I even really mean to. It's just again, that's just kind of
Yeah.
how I kind of thought of it.
I picked. I was like, "What the fuck is no minor one?" It's just like,
Your comment was cracking me up. I showed my wife. I was like, "Look what he said." He said, "What the fuck is that?" But it's funny because I'll be going around, and I teach at some of these schools where I'm at, and it's like
I liked how you added the will. By the way,
the what?
you said you said I'll be going around, not I be going around. I like.
Oh.
It was like instant grammar check. You really come a long way in the last 10 minutes.
So it's funny because I'll be around these different places and at different sessions or whatever,
Yeah.
you know, doing my gigs and, you know, teaching, whatever. And just like it happened to me last night at my gig. It's like someone came up to me and it's like, "Hey, are you the no minor one guy?" And I'm just like, oh my God, like never would I have thought that I'll be walking around at the school and like, "Hey, no minor one," like these random kids. And I'm just like, you guys are going to get me in trouble because these teachers are not going to like this. Like,
Yeah.
so
Dude.
it's obvious that I've hit a nerve somewhat. And I think overall it like, you know, a lot of the times you on the internet, especially, you tend to only see all the negative stuff. That's really what catches people's eye.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, but overwhelmingly, like I've only got most of the time, it's like, "Oh, that's an interesting way. Like, how are you thinking about this?" Or, "But, you know, that's kind of cool. Like, I've never thought about like that." It's mostly that. You
Yeah.
know, every once in a while you'll get, "Oh, this is stupid. You're an idiot. Da, 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 you know, go practice." And it's like, okay, bro, whatever. Like,
Oh yeah. No, I mean, I get that.
I mean, yeah, I'm preaching to the choir.
I get a lot of hate, but yeah, I mean, it's just a part of being public.
So I guess my point though is that, you know, I need to kind of what you're saying. I need to figure out a way that's more. I've kind of just been making videos and putting them up, and I think I might be putting a little too much full lesson stuff up, where it's like, you know, a lot of times people can just kind of, and people will critique me like, "Oh, well, you're like," people I know, "Well, oh, well, you're just trying to make money." It's like, yeah, bro, duh. Like, what are you talking about? Like,
What are you trying to make? Well,
Yeah,
why be online?
yeah, like it makes
Hang out with your friends if you don't want to make money.
Yeah, it's like, why are we doing anything? Like, what?
Yeah.
Why am I playing guitar? Well, should I not play gigs? Like, what are you talking about?
Are you
Like,
hanging out with a bunch of Marxists? Where do you? Are you in
Bro, I mean,
California?
I feel like I'm surrounded by them,
California.
dude.
Ah, dude, yeah, dude, you're in a socialist country. Yeah. I mean, we're not much better, but yeah, yeah, no, it's like don't listen to the red commies. They just want to destroy our beautiful nation.
I mean, it's crazy, dude.
Yeah, they don't like money because they don't have any.
There's
like
definitely that consistency and correlation going on.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you're gonna find anybody who's killing it who's gonna say anything negative about wanting to earn money and making a living being like a motivator. It's like, you know, it's a very strange thing.
Yeah, it's very weird. I don't understand it. And I'm in Cali, so, you know,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, enough said. So,
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess the upside is that, you know, a lot of these people are just going to be living in your alleyways.
oh God. Jeez.
But yeah, you should think about that, especially, you know, like, do you have kids?
No.
Yeah, so like, you know, you're married, you're going to have kids probably one day. It's just like, you know, they're going to need stuff, food.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah. You know, and it's funny because I do enjoy teaching, especially like I teach at some of these local colleges and I do enjoy it, but I do have this, I kind of had the same mentality that you have where it's just like, I get curious about the future of these places, man. Like I don't.
Oh, it's not. Are you going to pay for it? Are you going to sign a loan for your kids to go to jazz college?
I
I
mean,
would never in 1,000 years.
I kind
I have a
of.
daughter. If she was like, like I really want to study the bass, it's just be like, okay, here's a bass, study
Right.
it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and it's funny because a lot of people, well, you're a hypocrite. You went to school, and I'm like, yeah. I mean, I did.
I went to school. It fucking sucked, dude.
and I
went to
paid.
Berkeley.
Yeah, I paid for it, and it's
Stupid. Like what? It's like, yeah, I made a mistake with my parents' money.
right.
It was like, thankfully my parents were like, sort of upper middle class and, well, not like in Israeli standards where I'm from, and it's just like they were, they could afford the tuition at the time and I didn't end up with debt, but a lot of the people I graduated with are still paying for it and are not working in music anymore, and that's just the reality. It's a scam. It really is. A degree in music means nothing in the job market. You'd be better off staying at home and paying for whatever, like Instagram ads daily for your videos.
Yeah. What do you think? Like, I mean, it's interesting because it's not that I totally disagree with learning music. It's just that I do feel like some of these kids are getting taken advantage of.
Well, I mean, learning music is great, but why learn music with these randos that happen to be in whatever, like the new school circa 2025? Like, you're like, you should learn music if you're spending that much money. Like, who do you like? You know what I mean? It's like if you're a jazz guy, like you like Rosenwinkel or Kreisberg,
Right.
go fucking live in their house for like a tenth of the money.
Right.
It's just like contact them and offer them like 40,000. Ask them, what does 40,000? Jonathan Kreisberg, what does $40,000 buy me? How much of your time does how much of your time does $40,000?
Yeah, I mean, your point. It's a valid point.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, just show them, like, be like, okay, I'm about to pay $250,000. How about I give you $100,000? Can I come live with you for if you told me that, I'd be like, yeah, sure. I have an extra room. Just follow me around. You can carry my shit. You know what I mean? I'll let you drive my kid to school. I don't have a dog anymore. I would say walk my dog. Anyways,
That's a bummer, dude. I had to do that with my old dog. I get you.
sucks.
Yeah.
Like whatever. Like, it's for $100,000. I mean, like, there's a lot of shit. Like, if you actually insert that money into my bank account and ask me for real what that buys you, it buys you a lot. Mm-hmm. And I guarantee that if somebody comes to live with me for a year, he will know more than if he spent 4 years in Berkeley.
Dude, some of your Berkeley videos
Nothing with like dudes in capes.
bro, your Berkeley videos where you're like critiquing the
Oh, the lady, the fucking Macy's Day Parade lady. Did you see that? I wasn't even trying to be such a mean boy, but like, just ridiculous,
Oh man, just some of the videos where you're like talking about, oh, they're doing the highlighting, they're highlighting the teachers, and then you just shit on these guys.
Well, I mean, I have to say, like, I just noticed they shit on themselves.
Yeah, you're kind of
like,
stating out the obvious. Yeah,
I mean, like, again, you don't, like, again, I understand it's a situation like this, but like, and I would never just pull up random people online and shit on them for no reason, for like enjoying the beauty that is playing guitar. But like, you are going into crippling debt to study with these people. These people are used as like those videos are to market, to lure young, unsuspecting adults to come, whatever, gain the guitar skills of Professor Monaco, trying to figure out the Macy's Day Parade tune in real time. Like, barely getting a minor chord arpeggio together on the guitar. It's just like, come on, man. Like, but again, listen, I have students that go to Berkeley right now. I keep talking to them about not doing it. The thing about 18-year-olds is the fear of going into the real world is so severe, and rightfully so. Like a lot of them have no business, like whatever, moving to LA or New York and starting to compete. They're not at a level where they can do it. They just fail. But for some reason, the idea of spending a few years at home working some shitty job and practicing is off the table. It seems like undignified or something for an 18-year-old.
Yeah.
And once people realize that that's what they should do, it's like, I'm not saying you're ready to like go and start trying to take whatever like Gilad Exelman's gigs at Smalls.
Right.
Like you're not, like that's not where you are. But spend 3 years trying to get there alone in your room, and then like, you know, play some local shitty gigs and go to some wine bars and try to play whatever, like take the A train 1,000 times where everybody ignores you, and then do that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
And again, you know, even if you don't want to like go live with Kreisberg, which the offer still stands, any of you can move in with him. I invite you. But you know, if you don't want to do that, then at least like, you know, take that money that your parents would have given you, or take out a loan and pay $400 a week to 3 of the best players in your town.
Yeah.
No, not to study. Hire. Pay
Oh, I see what
money
you're
to a
saying.
great drummer and a great upright bassist, and start a trio where every week you lose money by paying them, and you play with the best people in your town, and you eat shit. Like you make $100, you spend $400.
Right.
Like book the shittiest gig, tell them you pay them well for them, and have them like, you know, anybody in your town, the best players are going to play with you for money.
Yeah, that's true.
Unless you really are embarrassing to play with. And if you are that embarrassing, just go practice till you're not that embarrassing to play with.
Yeah, but that's not an easy answer for these guys. Like the way you pose that, like people don't like that, even though it is the truth.
Yeah, they don't like it because what they would rather do is just like burn money. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's a form of sacrifice. Like like the ancient days where you just like burn something at an altar, you know, like a piece of meat to God. They're just burning their parents' money at the altar of like their future in jazz. And then they just give up after like the 4 years are up. They go to a place, like try to book a gig. It's like it's really hard, play a few empty rooms, and it's like, all right, we tried.
Right.
Like, you know, let's just spend the rest of our lives trying to pay back that debt, or like, sorry, mom and dad, it didn't work out. Can I go to school for something else? Again, it's like we're not going to be able to sustain this Ponzi scheme. It's going to be over soon.
Yeah, it's funny because I feel like I learned some of the most things I've learned just by playing on these gigs, you know, years after going to school.
I mean, I after Berklee, I started like the band I'm still in, and you know, we started touring. We toured from 2010 through 2021. Now we play only like 2, 3, 4 tours a year, but back then we were like on the road between 250 to 300 days a year.
Wow.
And our gigs were fucking long. We were playing like 3 to 5 hours a night, you know, like three to 4 sets every night, touring. And we just play like fusion, our shit, like, you know, every night. And, you know, when we'd be on tour, we play 7 nights a week. I don't know, like I played guitar on stage, just really more than anybody I know. And yeah, I learned, I sucked when we started. Like we called ourselves a fusion band, but we were really more like a jam band, playing like Schofield tunes and shit, until eventually, like, you know, we started getting our shit together a few like years in. Like I wasn't good, you know.
But that's how it goes. That's how the best stories start. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, you just get good doing it.
For sure.
Yeah.
What are some things that you're looking forward to, like in your own world?
Just, you know, in my own world.
Or you just your music? I mean, obviously you have your group. You're doing stuff with that.
Yeah, it's a good question. I love touring, but at this point, it's like it's like we do like a few big tours a year. Big for us. Like we play 3 cruises. We do the Monsters of Rock with Extreme, Nuno. We do on the blue, which is kind of like the old people, the geezer one, with like, the zombies play that, and we do like the Yes Screws with all the prog bands, aristocrats and shit like that. And so those are always fun, and that's coming up in March. In January, we're going on tour to Texas, just playing clubs. So I always like look forward to touring. That's fun. But for our channel, we're just getting to 70,000 subs on YouTube, and I really want that fucking 100,000 placard.
The plaque,
silver
yeah.
thing. And I want that shit so bad. So looking forward to that. But yeah, I mean, it's the funny thing about like being I mean, I do approximately what I want to do. So like I always say, like once you've located the thing that you want, it's just more of the same. So
That's
for
great
me,
though.
for me, it's like the process has always been simple. Like play music, record, repeat. Write, play, record, repeat. So that's the most exciting stuff. And with the content stuff, it's like progressing in that is really nice. And you get to, I think through making instructional material, you get to find out how you think of things truly.
Yeah, definitely. That's true.
So it's just like, I feel like it's a process of putting to words and having an organized worldview in terms of like how you conceptualize the elements that make up the tools you're using. So
Yeah. No, I think that's great. I mean, yeah, you're doing what you want to do. I think I think, the rinse and repeat is a good thing.
yeah,
You know.
100%.
Yeah, man. That's great.
Awesome.
I mean,
Cool.
that's cool, man. Well, thanks for reaching out, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, I mean, this was a blast. It's nice to talk to someone that's like not just totally set in their ways. I know I've been chatting with some people, and some of these people just don't like it, and they're just like it cracks me up though.
Well, dude, yeah. So yeah, keep doing those minors.
Do you ever come to the West Coast or?
Yeah, it happens.
Okay, I'll keep an eye out.
We'll do it again.
I'll have to
Awesome, dude.
whenever you're in town, I'll have to cruise out.
We'll do that. See you soon, man.
All right, bro. See you, man.